Hey everyone, Couch Investor back to another video for today. So let's talk about TSMC, Taiwan Semiconductors. The stock is down 13% in this past week. Obviously, if you've been following the company, if you've been following semiconductors, you probably know of the restrictions, the rules that the US government is implementing on chip making companies, fabs outside of the United States, especially those that are selling to China. If you're not familiar, well, then here's the article. US restricts semiconductor exports in bid to slow China's military advance. Of course, if you follow the channel, we already talked about this with regards to NVIDIA. Now, the new rule requires chip makers to obtain license from Commerce Department to export advanced chips and chip making equipment. So for companies that are not making advanced chips or chip making equipment, disregard this. Now, it is very important to note that the US already requires licenses for exports of many advanced technologies to Chinese entities deemed to be working against the United States' national security interests. Friday's move, last Friday, expands that to include exports of crucial cutting-edge chips and equipment that can't be obtained elsewhere. The rules will also allow the United States to block foreign-made chips that are manufactured with US technology, the official said. Of course, this is a move that maybe some of us saw coming. Tensions are arising between the United States, China, and Taiwan. There are also some talks about creating a chip for a fab for United States, Tokyo, Seoul, and Taipei. This will obviously put immense pressure on China. Let's see what happens. If it will happen, well, Chinese economy, Chinese tech sector will take a huge hit. Not just them, companies like TSMC also supply Chinese companies a lot. Same with US companies as well, same with Japanese ones as well. So having that alliance is not a huge win for the West and the surrounding countries around China. It is a small win. It's also a big loss for China, but it will hurt other companies as well. Now, there has been recently an interview on 60 Minutes with regards to TSMC, Taiwan, obviously the threat of China maybe invading Taiwan. And they talk about the fact that maybe having that, let's say, superpower of chip making in Taiwan might prevent China to invade it. Because let's say they do invade, I'm not going to talk about here war strategies or whatever, but I just want to add this as extra info. I'll try and link the whole interview in the pinned comment as well. But let's say they try and invade Taiwan. What will happen with Taiwan Semiconductors? Or it gets destroyed, then, well, they've gained nothing. Or the people that work there will just flee the factory, flee the country, and then you have equipment with nobody that can work with that equipment, that isn't trained to work with that equipment. Plus, you'll probably have sanctions. You'll have companies like ASML maybe disabling some of the equipment there remotely. I don't know if they can do that. Probably they can, since it's software, but you see where I'm going with this. Maybe being such a cheap superpower is actually preventing an invasion. No, might be completely wrong and we might see something else develop, but I thought you should know this. Now, in this video, I'm going to show you a couple of numbers with regards to valuation, growth rates, and then some news with regards to chip making, Samsung, Micron, Taiwan, etc. So if you're interested in that, maybe hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't, and if you want to support me and this channel, do check out the link down in the description and in the pinned comment to get the top 10 best stocks to buy now, or go to full.com/couchinvestor. Make sure to check out all the other links in the pinned comment, some of which might actually save you some money. So, TSMC. This is currently the state of the company. The stock is down 41% since a year ago. It's down close to 20% in the last 3 months, and year to date, it's down 46%. Now, as you can see, revenue-wise, they have been growing quite nicely quarter over quarter. Free cash flow positive by a lot, and that has been increasing as well. Return on equity, same story there. And as for gross profit margin, been going up as well more recently, but we might see this come down. I will tell you later on in this video why, but still close to 55%. Even if we stay around 50%, that's quite nice. Also, by the way, these were the last numbers we got from last quarter. Earnings per share beat by 5 cents and revenue surprised by $327 million. And this is what the market expects, basically the 13th of October, so tomorrow. Earnings per share of $1.69 and revenue of around $19 billion. We also have positive EPS revisions in the last 90 days from 5 analysts. Now, when it comes to valuation, again, you can see PE ratio right now, the current last 12 months, 10.6 times, which is fairly cheap compared to the last couple of years. Price to sales ratio for the next 12 months, currently calculating the last 12 months, we sit at 4.4x, which is also very, very low if you go back all the way to 2015, 2016. And obviously, this being extremely low in the current micro environment might make a little sense, also with the threat of, well, China, Taiwan, etc. This is maybe why the market puts this company as such a low-ish valuation. So this is again a friendly reminder that just because a company is down by a lot and valuation has also come down does not mean that you should automatically buy it. In some cases, yes. In other cases, there might be a reason for that. Majority of the time, it's because of uncertainty. The market hates uncertainty. And today, well, uncertainty is the name of the game each and every day. Now let's have a look at a couple of extra points with regards to semiconductor companies and also TSMC more specifically. So TSMC is expected to see its fab capacity utilization trending downwards in the next 6 months, except for 5 nanometer and 28 nanometer process nodes, as order cuts by fabless clients are beginning to take a toll on the foundry. This, of course, is not a good thing for the company. Now, maybe on a positive note, Apple is preparing for 2 nanometer chips and is looking to collaborate with TSMC for its in-house developed processors with the new node, which is scheduled to enter volume production in 2025. We know that Apple and TSMC are working very, very closely together on a lot of products. Now, we have one of TSMC's competitors here, Samsung, plans to more than triple its production of advanced semiconductors by 2027, including 1.4 nanometer chips. The company is seeking to catch rival TSMC in the race for foundry market share. We also know that there were some talks between Samsung and Intel to work closer together, so there is that. Then we have some news with regards to Micron. They will receive up to $320 million in Japanese government subsidies. The deal follows months of negotiations between the US and Japan to expand cooperation in semiconductor production with the goal of reducing dependence on TSMC because of the China threat. And of course, let's not forget the announcement that was made a while ago, TSMC building a fab in the United States. I believe it's going to cost them around $12 billion or so. So that's also a good move for the company and for investors, moving away, let's say, from that difficult area. Of course, HQ, let's say, is still in Taiwan, but building in the United States, we probably secure some contracts in the future. Now, I know there were more negatives than positives in this video. That's not to say that I'm bearish on the company. No, Taiwan Semiconductor is still huge, still lots of clients, probably the biggest companies in the world, biggest chip designers in the world will still be using TSMC and Samsung for years and years to come. But it is always nice to hear both sides of the story here. Of course, I would love to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. Bullish, bearish, are you holding or not? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you enjoy this type of videos, leave it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, maybe hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.